need to have a common ratio. Okay, so to look at the ratio, remember it's like a proportion. So we're going to check, these are first, second, third, and fourth terms. We're going to check the ratios between them. So let's look at 4 over 2 compared to 8 over 4. Are those the same? If you look at them, 8 over 4 is just a double of, it's been multiplied by 2, of 4 over 2, so that one's good. Then let's check 8 over 4 compared to 16 over 8. Again, it's just doubled, so we're good. So these are geometric sequences. Geometric sequences have something called a common ratio. We use the letter R to represent that. In this case, our common ratio is 2. We can use that common ratio to find the nth term of a sequence using the formula a sub n equals a sub 1, which is the first term, times the common ratio to the n minus 1 power. So if we're trying to find the fifth term, it's the first term times the common ratio to the power of 4, because that's 1 less than the fifth term. Make sense? So we're going to use that formula to find the fifth term. So we're looking for the fifth term. I'm going to substitute 5 there. Equals, the first term was given to us here as 3, times the common ratio, which was also given to us, of 2, to the power of n minus 1. Well, if we're trying to find the fifth term, you take 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay? 2 to the fourth power times 3 is 48. So that's the fifth term. So now we're going to look at what happens when we don't have the first term. We're going to use a variation of the same formula. So we were dealing with a sub n equals a sub 1, or the first term, times the common ratio to the n minus 1. When you're working with this formula, the thing that you need to remember is if you're dealing with the nth term, n goes here. First term, 1 goes here. As long as these match, you're okay. So we're going to look at the fifth term equals the second term times r to the 5 minus 2 power, or the power of 3. Notice how these still match and these still match. So we're good. The reason I put them in this order is so that I end up with a positive exponent. So I always deal with my highest term equals the lower term, common ratio, exponent. Okay, so I'm going to substitute what I know. 2/3 equals negative 18 times r to the third power. Okay? This ends up being negative 1 over 27 equals r cubed. So r is negative 1/3. Now I can use this common ratio in another variation of the formula to find the sixth term. A sub 6, or the sixth term, equals, I'm going to use the fifth term, again, that's just personal preference this time, negative 1/3 to the 6 minus 5 power. Okay, the reason I use the fifth term is because this ends up being 1, and I don't have to deal with the exponents. So again, these match and these match, so we're good. A6 equals 2/3 times negative 1/3 to the first power, which is just negative 1/3. So A6 equals negative 2/9. Sixth term is negative 2/9. First step was we had to find our common ratio using the two terms that were given, and then use the common ratio in one of our terms that was given to find the sixth term.